Test, test. Test. Well, that's sounding alright. Starting in a second, folks. Yo. Welcome to the stream. How are we all doing today? Welcome back to the Roottrees, which I regret to inform you, they are still dead. Well, some of them are. I think we've learnt one thing from this game. There are a lot of Roottrees. You could say their roots go quite deep. Quality content. That's why you tune in for this. How are we all doing on the Sunday afternoon? Apologies for the lack of stream yesterday. I went to a screening of Hundreds of Beavers yesterday afternoon, so I couldn't do a stream. Guys, I mean, I've seen that film before, but it was the first time I've seen it with an audience. Guys, if you've not seen that film, I highly recommend it. It is a weird, hilarious, goofy piece of cinema. It's like a Looney Tunes cartoon in real life, but also a Charlie Chaplin, Buster Keaton movie, but it's also very influenced by video games. There's a Q&A with the the main actor and the he's also the producer and of the film, so he's like a big part of the production, and was saying how when they were coming up with the concepts and they were playing a lot of Super Mario Galaxy 2, which was very funny, because it was like it really helped like reinvigorate that sort of imagination and what they can do with the film just playing that game, because it's so full of wonder and stuff, which I think is really funny and really quite like endearing. But yeah, it was a good time, and they had people in the beaver costumes. Oh yeah, spoiler alert, a lot of the movie is people in beaver costumes. There's a lot more bunnies than I remember it from the first time, which are always a good source of comedy. In the film, it's a great movie. I highly recommend it. I think, is it on streaming now? It must be, right? But if you can get to a cinema, they're doing kind of a UK tour at the moment. So I definitely recommend looking it up and seeing if it's coming to a cinema near you. Anyway, back to the Roottrees. So this is our third stream of this, and hopefully, I'm kind of hoping it's going to be one of our last of this playthrough, because we're getting there. I think we have maybe 5 more major Roottrees to uncover the identity of, and then there's like some extra stuff that we can try and do if we don't, and hopefully we'll try and get solved today. I mean, we're gonna get solved today. Grab coffee, guys. We're gonna be here for the long haul. We're here all night if we have to be. And I'm trying to get my notes up of where I kind of wanted to start today. So, I think, let's have a look at the board. So, my 3 main sort of focuses I want to get to today are who is Edward's daughter. I've put November Rootree mostly because it's a name. I'm not can't remember the logic of why I said that was who that was. Because it still could be Tessa Rootree or Christina Rootree or Candy Rootree. And likewise, James Rootree's kids we still need to identify, as well as Ronald Rootree's kids. And if we can get their spouses as well, like Elias's wife and Edward's wife, that would be good too. But I mean, the main ones are these bigger ones that we need to identify. This one is a very big question mark at the moment. There was also something else that I wanted to look at. A couple of things I made notes of when I was sort of sorting out notes yesterday. I was, well, actually, yesterday and also, so basically, I want to look into Root a bit more, which is the clothing company that Brenda, Carl's wife, sort of founds. Because apparently Jim's daughters, they're not involved in the company, but they are very, Jim's daughter is apparently a part of that, so we might be able to get, there's an association there, so I think we might be able to get something from there, possibly. There's also Edith's past. I want to look into it more. Edith is the wife of Miracle Jr. Apparently there was a whole thing about her sister sort of being them sort of faking miracles, and has a checkered past apparently. So I think that's really interesting, and I'm kind of want to see if that leads anywhere, or it might be a red herring. And also one final thing was I was trying to get thumbnails for their VODs, and let's look at the evidence actually, because I noticed, and it might be nothing. In this 5 pieces photo, I spotted there's this guy in the background. And I don't know who that is. And I find that really interesting that... Can we take a photo of this guy as well? No, just this guy. I wonder who this is, because there's a guy called EC who's been kind of hinted at. And I wonder if that's who that is. Or if that's no one. But I can't believe I didn't spot him until like then. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Just someone who's kind of hidden in plain sight. So I think maybe... So why don't we have a look, see if we can figure out who this person is. So, is there... If we do a search for... Is there anything in the spider search about Edward Rootree? I think we probably searched this before, to be fair. But... So Edward took over the sort of the law firm element of the company, as far as I'm aware. I'm gonna actually have a look at our intuition, see if there's anything worth here. See, this is interesting that this is still a, like, has the most clues. There's still something about this that's interesting, apparently. It's bearing a ton of other mail that Carl left in his inbox, and a handwritten note that attached seemed personal. There's a flyer about a candidate for local office, Stephanie Jones. On the back is an excerpt from a useful article from the Butler County Times-Battle campaign. Stephanie may have grown up in an unconventional family, to say the least, but in her own words, it was still full of love. And now, 22 years later, with a baby of her own due around Christmas, her message for voters is simply, "Love is our future." Handwritten note says, "Carl, I know we don't see eye to eye when it comes to the candy company, but if you could talk to your girls about putting out a statement supporting Stephanie, she could use the publicity your daughters bring. Don't let our conflict spread to the next generation. CM." So we know that's Caroline. Caroline Morden. Just I'm gonna just search for, like I said, because we do want to figure out who Edward's daughter is. Is there anything in any periodicals? Edward Roottrees. November Roottrees? I was picking it what I assume was her name, but I might be completely wrong. At Stephanie Jones? No, she's a mention of Stephanie Jones. Sort of already known about this already. I'm gonna do James Roottrees, see if he's showing up in here. Yeah, see, we've kind of clocked this already. Which all of this is stuff that we've kind of already known. I will, I will see if this shows up in the Butler County Times, though. I know it came up because we had the... Ah, there it is. Jim Roottrees seems to have left Butler County by the time Jim and Diamond gained notoriety. The only article you find is from 1979. The article is titled "Former Butler County Resident Enters Disco Charts." This article became riotous rolling down the city was hitting its peak popularity. There isn't much in the article other than what you'd already know, but it does mention at the time Jim and Diamond had a 2-year-old daughter they named Candy. The writer of the article did not seem thrilled to report this fact, and merely called the name a bit on the nose. But that has given us at least a name. And I would assume that will be his first daughter. What if we search her on the internet? It's annoying. I'm surprised there wasn't more. This is going to be very vague. Anything in the periodicals about her? No. So, we have a name. Do we have... But there's no photos we can put to this. No, because that's clearly Lauren, isn't it? Should probably put that in there, just as like a... We need to figure out what Gwyneth's job was. I think we are going to have to find this. Might have to, well, find this, but also find the other one. Can we do more of a search into roots? No. Maybe in Teen Blast? Teen Blast has a lot of advertisements for Root. Clothes, some of them mention Brenda, but more often not their daughters mentioned. I found a small bit from an ad many years back that said, be sure to look for our upcoming article about Raina's inspiration for Root clothing. Okay. There's nothing that we haven't already know about this. Yeah, that's way better. Yeah, we had read this before. maybe if we do... And then it's rows, it's about like that, right? I reckon it'll probably be the same. Yeah. Oh, we haven't... We can listen to the radio, see if that's... We've got any more updates there. It's been a couple of hours. Okay, that's just controlling the music. It's really weird to control with the mouse. Albert Davis, Secret Searcher, Reversus, Family Doku. Nice. Anyway, let's have a look for that EC figure. But I reckon we have to come back to that at another point. I think they may figure in a lot later. It's interesting to have a photo for them, for that person in the background, but they don't seem to match up with any of these. And we did search Diamond, I'm sure we did. I wonder if we can look up the fandom. Nice, got some more stuff here. Brilliant. Diamonds Dazzlers was named the official fan club for Jim and Diamond. You found a forum post called The Cool Things You Got in the Mail on a random forum about video games. Interesting. One reply mentions that Jim and Diamond still send out a Christmas card every year to Diamond Dazzlers. It's accompanied by some pictures as well as some history about the fan club. Apparently, even though it is no longer available to join, Jim and Diamond still honour it themselves personally. There is a fierce debate in the subscripts post whether that's cool or pathetic. Amongst the pictures of Christmas cards from over the years, only one is relevant. A card from 1996, including pictures of Jim and Diamond's young son Wolf, as well as a note about his daughter's band, the Floozies. The picture has major evidence. Found a picture of a Christmas card from Jim and Diamond from the fan club in 1996. It's a picture of his son Wolf listening to his parents' latest music. Okay, so he's clearly he'll be the second born then. His name is Wolf. This 2 years ago, he would be a child in K through 12. There's still something here. It's when we can pot's face in the red that fans operations past time for Roottrees as long as you fans operations past Sam for Roottrees as long as he was willing. I've got flashbacks from Zach when he was made president. Murray framed it a bit to calm him down. So I've not received any candy money after all, and essentially inheriting the right to rule over the peasants for eternity. Pop once away from that farm for years and never met EC in person before to refer to him as a confirmed bachelor, and I suspect that's why he kept us from there. Sam had to grow up in a house with him and his roommate Mr. Miller. I'm gonna copy that, and I'm gonna make a new note for EC. Not sure Sam will ever forgive Uncle Junior or Patsy for abandoning her to that life. If I were her, I might never forgive me either. But even so, she seems to blame more than just the two of them. She has no problems with us next gens, but she has a palpable hatred for 5 pieces in Elias and Gwyneth. So I mean, so there's, yeah, clearly something there. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. So Gwyneth has the green thumb of her mother and her adopted grandfather. So is she a... I think gardener's an option. I could say farmer possibly, but I mean it really... It's probably more likely a housewife, unfortunately. I'm going to close that and see if there's anything. Why is this still showing up as there being... What is it about these? At their fame, fortune by taking it for granted, which implies possibly not being happy with the that entire generation becoming like actors and stuff. Advice and now non-design clothing, help decide what colours and patterns I want to make. Grandma's passed away earlier this year. Grandma Laura tells me he was really proud of what we managed to accomplish. And her grandfather is Clancy Jr. We should look up the Floozies. Is there anything there? Floozies are an all-female punk band operating out of New York City. They mentioned in passing an online review from earlier this year. Apparently they were the opening act for the band the reviewer actually came to see. The reviewer writes that she normally doesn't review the opening act. This one was unusual, and not because of the music, which she described as loud, fast, and repetitive, but not in a good way. Yikes. And the crew was extremely cagey about their identities. The reviewer asked the venue who they were, and she told them they were reviewing to be the children of other famous musicians. Didn't want that to be why they were popular. The reviewer also mentioned that for an underground and unknown band with absolutely no following, their equipment was all extremely expensive. And not only were they selling CDs, but they also cost $1. They only cost $1. They're probably losing a fortune. The reviewer said, although she bought a copy, she would be unlikely to ever listen to any of it again, except maybe Beef Baby, the 7th track. There is no picture of the Floozies performing live, but the cover from the CD they were selling in Conquistador has been added to your evidence. A CD from the band called the Floozies is only available at live shows. Guitars, vocals was Candy, bass Nikki, drums Nina. So that'll be... But that'll be Nick... No, that's a guitar. It's not a bass one. How am I talking about? So that'll be Candy. I kind of want to hear the song, to be honest. And she is a musician. It also mentions Nikki and Nina, who are also daughters of rumored to be the children of other famous musicians, and didn't want that to be why they became popular. Is there anything else we can get from this? How made me to... So we got. I wonder if Nikki and Nina. Are also related in some way here. But because I wonder if maybe they could be, one of them could be one of these kids, possibly. Is there a Nicola or a Nina? There's Nicole Smith. Is there a Nina at all? No. So, I think we've got those two. I think those are still sorted. But so why? There's clearly one. So I'm fairly confident about these two. This one I'm pretty sure is right, unless she is a student who is at college as well. I might change that, just see if that does anything. No, it doesn't. Okay. Is that? If I just Google the next generation, see if I keep saying Google, it's not that, but perfect. Of course. Of course. Next Generation television series in the Star Trek franchise. It finished airing 2 years ago in 1996. So I was primarily known for inspiring hit Star Trek by the firm, which hit #1 in the UK cinema in 1987. Currently 2 spin-offs of Voyager and Deep Space Nine are ongoing. Season 5, episode 9 of Voyager is set to air in 3 days. None of this seems to have to do with your research with the Roottrees family, however. I like the added them, that's very funny. Is it the Free Spirits? I want to get the name of their... I want to get the name of the law firm that Edward took over. If it wasn't just the Roottrees company. What is there left to do with that? That's wild. I'm also going to add this to my notes. I know we've looked up the Clanstead Trust. Okay, so Edward became the Roottrees company's head lawyer. I've probably looked this up. Five-piece guarantee in combination with the Clanstead Trust is Elias's attempt to ensure the Roottrees Candy Company will remain a family business for eternity. In isolation, it is somewhat baffling. The yearly salary of Roottrees president is always locked to the price of a single pack of 5 pieces. When the 5-piece guarantee went into effect, this was 25 cents a year. Now it's closer to $4. Combined with the Clanstead Trust, however, makes a bit more sense. Elias wanted to ensure that only his direct relatives could afford to be president. And he knew that because their passive income was tied to the profits of the company, they would have a vested interest in keeping the company as profitable and as successful as possible. Whether or not this was a smart, successful decision is widely debated online and in person by economic enthusiasts of all levels of expertise. If I literally just searched the candy company, like, I don't think I've actually just done that. I reckon we're probably gonna have to do a proper search of that. I know that's where Gwyneth came from. Okay. So we know they all kind of went into music or dance or acting. If I do Roottrees law, this won't come up anything, but yeah, damn. Stupid. Did Edward Rootree ever write anything about the law? Damn. Let's look at this again. The government had problems. Remember once reading certified mail for an Edward Clancy Rootree. I had to write the news and I got my father's name backwards. So I assume this was Samantha, who would then in reality be Edward Clancy's daughter. So maybe he had an affair with Patsy? Again, doesn't really help at all. See. I'll do a search for next gens. I know it's not going to be. Probably get the same Star Trek thing, right? Yep. Okay, well, why don't we... I'm really struggling with this, so why don't we take a break from that for now, find out who this is, and focus on who this is instead. So, we know that Miracle Roottree's second born son is Elias M. What happens if we do a search for him? Is there anything? So he was a mechanic, so Yeah, that's not helpful. So we know that Miracle Junior. Managed blah blah blah. According to the website Cleared You Watch. Can we just look that up? Let's reach about on the website for the first Ansel May found a few pictures, including that famous picture of us and Gwyneth. But marrying blah blah. That's. Oh, I think I might have gone. Was a conspiracy to fraud the public in 1979 when he claimed to heal someone in a wheelchair. The news expose revealed it was wife Edith's sister in disguise. He mentions that Edith had a bit of a checker past herself, but doesn't clarify. And we know his wife's name is Edith Jacobson, so I'm going to give her a search. I found it seems to be partially incorrect list of archived articles from the County Times. Articles cover but mention that Edith Jacobson and the rest. We'll have a look at our periodicals. Somehow I don't think it'll be in Teen Blast. It's a crime blotter article by Edith Jacobson. It also mentions a Helen Roottrees. Interesting. Do we have a Helen Roottrees somewhere? And then Lucinda Jacobson. In 1971, when she was 18, Edith and her sister Lucinda were arrested for trespassing at the Miracle Congregation's church in Butler County. They were pretending to be church employees in an attempt to get into the room where the church houses their weekly evenings. The church didn't press charges. They were caught by Helen Roottrees, who was out at the time while her husband Miracle was away preaching. Helen Roottrees was quoted saying, "Jesus forgives and so do we. The Lord works in mysterious ways, and I am confident he has brought these young women to us for a greater purpose." Right, well, that's Miracle's wife then. And that'll be a Helen Lennon. Unless there is another Helen here, which is possible, I guess. Nope. Could we look up Helen Roottrees? Okay, it's just that. I wonder does... Okay, she doesn't show up here. Maybe she might appear somewhere else. When's it here? If I do a search for Lucinda Jacobson, I don't know. Probably come up with the same stuff, but damn. Okay, so his wife is Nicole, so that would be the... be her, I guess. But that's really... it's not really particularly helpful. So Elias M is mechanic. So I guess... I wonder if it had anything to do with Guy Hudson's death. Because presumably he would have worked on his car and he died in a car accident. I might be clutching at straws there. About the kind of times. Is there an obituary thing or something? The front page story in 1982 about Guy Hudson and his wife Patricia dying in a car accident. The story itself is surprising light and relevant details due to the recency of the accident. Police reported that the crash was caused by an unidentified driver who swerved in front of Hudson's car, causing him to brake hard and veer off the interstate. Rest have fled after the accident, and police have views of the make and model. Don't think we have a... If we look up Imperiodical... no. Miracle the Third. Well, it'll help us I spelled his name correctly. The Miracle Roottrees estate. Oh, how Miracle Network? I know we've looked up this before because we had the flyer. And obviously if this is the Miracle Estate Network then wonder if... I doubt it, but yeah. I'm gonna also spot that, so I'm gonna search. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna, because if Elias was a mechanic, maybe I can figure out. Maybe I can do a search about the county mechanics. Damn. Mechanics? Car accidents. Elias M. Miracle. Miracle Junior. Miracle Roottrees and Science specifically goes by Miracle Junior, appeared in about a great time over the years. Miracle Network, which is a collection of churches, has been collection of churches, television shows, and products that make purchases multiple advertisements in each issue. Mentioned one article mentioning legal trouble. Unfortunately, it's a throwaway line in an article about a tour they plan to take across southern United States called the Three Generations of Miracles. The author speculates they're going to leave legal trouble behind. So all the advertisements, the ad results in the Butler County Times not particularly relevant to search. Any attempts to find more about these legal troubles are thwarted. You know, this is basically what we have the flyer for, but yep. I don't think we're going to get anywhere with this any further than we already have. Especially he sort of shunned his. Seems like he sort of shunned his father and his brother, sort of. Path down to the church. And televangelism. And who are Roottrees' children? I wonder if we get a photo of one of those. Maybe there's something that could link that to. I know I've searched this before. His thing was Art Productions, which I know we put into. And again, this is something we have definitely looked up. I'm just going to double check if anything that we missed. Oh, hang on. There's an article about Ryan from 1945. Don't blame nepotism, he gets results. Finding some school student success, first directed for many soap opera episodes and stepping up as a showrunner to turn around a few struggling productions, Ron decided to start his own television production company. Ron's born in the US but grew up in Paris with his once famous mother and his brother Robbie. He loved American cinema whenever he could. When he was old enough to return to Hollywood to attend film school, he a special kind of charisma and an eye for unusual shots, particularly when it comes to comedy. Those whose work have gone on record to say he's an attentive director who can work with actors to make sure the timing of the joke lands perfectly. Ron plans to pitch new shows to major television studios as soon as 1986. Till then, he plans to find the right project. He has occasionally called upon his younger brother there for script punch-ups, and has thought about bringing him onto the fold. I mean, I wonder if there's going to be anything in Team Blast about it. Nope. And Robert's the other one. Let's see if there's anything. Yeah, we've definitely looked at this. If there's anything. By the search. I know it's going to be the same thing. Okay. Yeah, same thing. Okay, brilliant. And I've looked this up. Is anything about it here? Okay, right. Hang on, this is interesting. So when the creators of Brother Trouble Ron married Penelope, he played TMS's mum on the show. So we'll go find a Penelope. Tessa Green. Photograph signed TMS told Team Blast reporter that he made a go at party in Malibu. Apparently, the cast of Road Trouble got to go to Penelope's house once a year. At this time, TMS found love. Mega hottie has to say. She's incredible. She came to the party to meet specifically, and I'm glad she did. She did say she had a crush on me when she was younger. Sorry, I have a question here from her posters now. Team Blast reporter asking like was TMS produced a spill. We did some digging. And one of the creators of Brother Trouble, Ron, married Penelope, played TMS's mum on the show. Get this, Ron is a distant relative of Roottrees sisters. Okay, I know we've looked this up. Sound like a broken record. Is there anything else about her? Penelope Tessa Green is a retired comedian. As a result of the Laugh Lounge, a club marina that claims Penelope got her stand-up start and famed in her famously raunchy breast milk cheese routine in the 1980s, which is a TV star in Bravo Trouble. The site claims she retired for the birth of her first child, but still makes a yearly appearance at fundraisers, doing more family-friendly material. Another picture labelled Joker Lantern, 1997, as well as a different picture labelled Jack watching one of his mother's charity sets, 1984. Both have been added to evidence. Perfect. You find this on a website about a comedy couple called The Laugh Lounge. This was captured Jack watching one of his mother's charity sets, 1984. So that means one of his children is Jack. Probably a Jack Roottrees, right? And I'm assuming it's 1994, he's going to be quite young. He will still be a student. Is he not? You find this website about a comedy club called The Laugh Lounge. It's a photo titled Joker Lantern 1997. It was taken during one of Penelope Tessa Green's fundraisers. Right, so I've got this wrong. So that's going to be him. That's going to be Jack. Swap this over. Boom! These 4 entries are correct and have been locked. There's a lot of optional entries. Booyah. Only took us an hour and 15 minutes. Right, so that'll be occupation baddie. So we still don't know which one this is. It could be either of these 3. Why is that still showing us 5? There's still stuff there, which is annoying. So Joker. I mean, it's a bad pun. Do we know who this guy is? Does this guy have any relevance to us? No. Sorry, I love this. The very few straight VHS movies that adapt classical literature in a family audience to my access. Most popular of which is Jane Eyre, which we imagine the Charlotte Bronte novel as a high school romance with a focus on skateboarding. Ah, the 90s. Doesn't need to be associated with Roottrees. But that's interesting to know. So considering we have 4 left to sort of uncover, and we just need to know Gwyneth's job. I reckon, because that's obviously not right. It's a green finger, so she has to be a father, right? I can't think of anything else that could be that would like involve green fingers. Who is this? Going to look. Well, we know this was Bill Williams, but we don't have his actual name. Actually, could we get? You may have noticed what Gwyneth's father might be. Gwyn, sorry. No, maybe not. Look at Silver Screen magazine for Christmas Mission. Will that give us her husband? Yeah, just Wild Bill, which... That's it. Right, of course. Okay, why don't we go back to the campaign mailer? It's clearly something huge that we're missing. What if we look up City Council. Butler City. Sorry, Butler counties. City. To election. City Council. Right, yeah, that's that we already knew. I wonder if Hunter would look up her husband. Does he appear in here at all? Okay. We have attention over the years, as well as a small article from 1995 about Jones Graphic and Print. The article is a piece about Brian Jones taking his father's print company after 20 years. Brian did not let it go to waste as a marketing machine during the interview portion. In and out of that shop my whole life. My father taught me everything there is to know when it comes to getting the job done and getting it done quick. We've been printing staple of Butler County for years, and even the Butler County Times uses us for coupon pages a few times a year. Thanks, by the way. But still, whether you're a new client or one of our regulars, nothing will change. Come on down for the best prices in bulk printing anywhere in the state of Pennsylvania. Or search us online. I designed the website myself. I wonder if there is going to be something relevant here. Excellent. Oh, this might be handy. So, Jones and Graphic and Print is a company that, according to its website, has existed in Butler County for some time. The website seems fancy. It even has frames. The website lists the addresses, hours, and a few examples of clients and the type of work that was done for each. Stephanie Jones campaign mailers, campaign mailers, Roottrees Candy Company, various banners, posters, Butler County, Holiday Light post banners, Miracle Network, sort flyers, Roottrees Motors, coupon flyers, Butler County School District, various banners, posters, Butler Summer Theatre, posters, and set commentaries of Children of Eden. At the bottom it says, we also do your website. Come in and get a quote today. I'm just going to take a note of some of these that we haven't looked at already. So Roottrees Motors, that's new. I reckon Eli has some. So Eli M has a connection there. That makes sense. He's a mechanic. Butler County School District. Might be able to get perhaps some of the younger people. Get some identity from that. And Butler Summer Theatre. You find a hit for Roottrees Motors on the Jones Graphic and Print website, which you've seen already. Do you have any trace on the internet? As a local business, they may be featured other places. That's annoying. Butler County School Districts. Butler Summer Theatre. Butler Summer Theatre performs plays and musicals during the summer, which makes sense. As it is not summer currently, their website is a thank you message. Thank you for making our 1998 season such a success. Stay tuned for announcements and performances in 1999. The website lists the credits of a musical, which seems to be the final show they performed last season. There is a cast list, but none of the names seem relevant. Below the cast list, the crew and two things stand out. Posted additional set design elements by Jones Graphic and Print, and choreography by November Studios. I think we might be onto something. I think that might be our local art school. They advertise that the ballet and jazz classes. There's hardly any information available. Hang on. November Studios. Did you know? Wait. Butler Summer Theatre. Butler Summer Theatre has been around for at least 30 years. They film plays and musicals with a cast and crew in and around Butler County. There are hundreds of mentions of performances, not just in reviews, but in nearly identical advertisements for their box office and tickets, as well as yearly announcements of upcoming shows in the season. Then take out a full-page ad at the end of every season that says thank you, and list the names of the shows they performed with no additional information. As of this year, it mentions they have a website. Okay, right, I'm going to look up November Studios. 7 November Studios, maybe they should have called this a place no mention studios, because you can't find any information about it anywhere. Nice thought, though. Okay. Roottrees Motors. There's an ad for Roottrees Motors in the papers. It seems Roottrees Motors used to be called Wilkins Motors. An ad for Roottrees Motors has run in every week's Butler County Times for as many years, but recently has been changed to include a picture. 3 different unique versions of the ad have been added to your evidence. Roottrees Motors ad ran from 1974 to 1977. Advertised that the former name of Roottrees Motors was Wilkins Motors. Wilkins Motors is still the same family business but has joined the Roottrees family. So, presumably, maybe a new name where you promise to still in the same family business. What's different is you join the Sweeter family. Okay, so that would imply he married someone whose last name was Wilkins, so Catherine Wilkins. Roottrees Motors, your family local family connected to servicing the entire Pittsburgh area. Tessa Roottrees, our newest fixer, learned all there is to know from the cards from her Roottrees Motor parents. Amazing. So that means Tessa Roottrees is a mechanic. And we're presuming this is going to be putting 2 and 2 together of November Studios. There's November Roottrees, who's a dancer. So I'm going to posit that, which means that this is going to be Christina Roottrees. Got them. That's all of them. Okay, maybe not.
To my genealogy genie. If you're reading this, it means you've locked in 49 blood relatives. Congratulations. I knew you could do it. There are 2 more entries on the family tree I'd like you to consider. These last 2 are optional. You can summon me whenever you wish. However, this will end your search and reveal the truth. So make sure you're ready.
Okay. So, EC is this guy. And he is Clancy. No, wait. No. So we know EC lived at the farm with Mr. Miller. Who adopted Samantha Roottrees. So Lauren was saying about getting named. It's Edward Clancy Roottrees. I think no. Yeah, it's gonna be Edward Clancy because. So Lauren was saying about how. And the spouse would be Patricia Christensen. Because Lauren had a thing about I think I might be wrong. It's because Lauren had a thing about when she was really young, someone coming up to her saying her pop was their pop as well. There's a girl who came up to her who was a similar age, which would also correlate to Samantha Roottrees. She also said about how there was a bit of evidence did I have it here? I'll find that bit that she said in her diary. Wow, that's still a thing. We've got something missing. Yeah, in her notes. Yeah, so she says here about receiving a certified email for Edward Clancy Roottrees. They got my name father backwards, but now that make him EC. Yeah, we'll look at the thing for Sam. Yeah, it's pretty image of Patsy with jet black hair and green eyes. Yeah, the Fox face when they read the found of face past to Samantha Roottrees. I mean, that's the only photo we have, and it doesn't make sense because he's in that photo as well, but... Are there any others that... Or do we lock in? Maybe. Is anyone... Is anyone missing who could be? That doesn't... I need to look at that photo again. This miracle was in it. She and I both wanted to be in the... Since miracle was in it, as Freya said, originally about activities. Eventually, both had stopped trying to pose in front of the camera. Mr. Morden, who was there with Harry's asset in front of the camera. And years later, they never even took a second photo. They're about the same age. We're in telephone, only the 5 people didn't go over well, so they dismissed those downs. They posted in front of the camera. Some more than found out later they even took a second photo. I mean, just not. I'm going to take a look. Just not convinced fully about this. Is he Miller? No. Miller Maple. Anderson Maple Farms. Oh, I hope I got a name right. Was that a... Was there something about... Shaking his wife in an announcement, obscurize everything from family gatherings. As he saw, he saw Sam working alongside the farmhands, EC and John when he used to drive past the old Anderson farm on his way to work. So John is John Miller. Where was that bit? Some trying to think of what. There was something about Patricia Christensen. Is it her last name? I don't remember. About. About her not remarrying or something. Something really interesting. Okay, so she is the illegitimate daughter of. That was, yeah. In fact, his husband died, she reunited with Eli Jr. and found married in their 50s. But she had never taken another lover. I don't know if the romantic quite appreciated this. I don't know. I feel like I'm not sure. I feel like it makes sense for that to be for Edward Ritchie to have adopted her. Hence why she goes, "Oh, my pop is your pop," to Lauren when she was a child. And then John Miller is the other farmhand, so that makes sense. I think. I don't know if I'm ready, but I'm gonna. Can we I want to save it, so in case I'm wrong, like, I can reload this and then get the actual answer. I just feel like I want to get everyone in. Because I know there's stuff that we've like missed and to look into. And also because I've noticed this stream has only been going for an hour and nearly 2 hours, and I really like it's a bit short to end it. So I kind of want to do some of the other stuff as well whilst we're here, because I'm fairly confident on that, but I'm not. I mean, fairly confident, but not 100%. Also, there's a whole bunch of the stuff in the Steam achievements about like infidelities and stuff, so I'm intrigued on what those are, if there are any. But we can fill in maybe some of these. Well, that would be Christopher Hudson. That makes sense. Don't know why we didn't figure that one out. Trying to think who his wife could be. Wild that still has something in there, which is don't know what that can. Unless he has some connection somewhere else. Weird that the oh, I didn't spell them correctly. That doesn't help. Name. Unless... I'm gonna... I wonder... I'm gonna say he married Clara. He married Joan. And she married... I wonder what Wild Bill Williams is like actual... So he grew up in Paris, so maybe he has a French name? Nope. It was never actually mentioned in the Gwyn's evidence. It's like... Where was it? It's like called Christmas Mission or something. Everyone was guys like us. Harrison Lane, that was the other name. Has no catch Roottrees. Harrison Lane, it seems like a dead end. Okay. But Leslie Florence. research here. Actually, yes, it's a bit of a dead end, but okay, I'm going to there's definitely stuff we've been missing. Lots. I'm sure there's evidence. I'm sure there's photos. I'm sure there's stuff that we just haven't found. I really want to find because I really want to fill everything up. But based on the current evidence we have, there isn't as much as I would like. And what is it about this that's like... I just can't figure it out. It's... Aside from, you know, if I just search, aside from searching, which I've probably not really done. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna... I wanna... Screw it, I'm ready. But first, here's a final option of entries you found. Okay.
So, you thought EC was Edward Clancy Roottrees, and his partner was John Miller?
Yes.
That's exactly what I needed to hear.
Got it.
I'm Sam Madsen, though you know me as Samantha Roottrees. Yup, I got old. The only picture you have of me is from 40 years ago. My book tells the truth about Elias, the 5 Pieces, and my parents. Not my biological parents, Elias Jr. and Patsy. My fathers, Edward Clancy Roottrees and John Miller. By now, you've either read Lauren's diaries, or you're just an incredible guesser.
Better column A, better column B.
Lauren was right. I hated the 5 Pieces. She just didn't know my full reasoning. My father, Edward Clancy, was a great man, but his identical twin Clancy and his father, Elias, were not.
They were twins?
At age 16, my father was caught kissing a farmhand. Back then, they wouldn't even acknowledge gay people existed. Having one in the family was unthinkable. The same year, I was born. A bastard granddaughter. 2 stains on Elias's perfect family. He decided to fix both. They tried to erase Edward Clancy. They even removed his 5 pieces flavor. His name was deemed a dirty word. He became EC. We were sent to the farm, and the 5 pieces did their best to keep the next generation away, to isolate me from family. But Elias couldn't erase us from existence. Laura never realized I was the little girl from her diary. Who could blame me for being so confused that day? Her father was an exact copy of mine, except without the beard. And while the 5 pieces celebrated a new factory, farmhands did the real work. It's a fluke there's a picture of my father at all, but there he is in the background. The 6th 5-piece.
Knew it.
Patsy returned.
I knew it.
And things got complicated for Elias. She fought for my freedom, from a life she deemed unworthy. Elias relented, so long as I never learned the truth or receive inheritance. They knew I'd help my father. At Elias's will reading, I learned part of the truth. The rest I learned at home. I began to hate the 5 pieces. My father made me stay silent. He was worried history would repeat, and that his grandchildren would become outcasts. His fears weren't unfounded. As you know, my son Ernie died a few years ago. He had trained to take over as president. But due to family politics, or perhaps hubris, it went to Guy, a real Roottrees. He nearly ruined the company.
Yeah, I didn't get to that one. Or that either. Maybe I should have searched Business
When Ernie
Watch.
took over, he saved the operation. Over 13 years, he made the family billions. Ernie earned about $36. They got by on Debbie's salary, but when he fell ill, he couldn't pay his medical bills. His death was my tipping point. Originally, my book was meant to expose Elias's hypocrisy, until I started to look into the other dirty laundry. Ron tried to have Robbie removed from the trust, but couldn't. Robbie was a blood relative, even out of wedlock.
Yeah, I think we knew that.
That sounded familiar. The Clancy Trust that Elias established was designed to secure his family's future. His entire family's future. He couldn't write exceptions in without the whole thing falling apart. My book can definitively prove that Elias was not the paragon of virtue he's heralded as.
And he's a dude from the early 1900s, of course he isn't.
And that my daughter and granddaughters are just as much family, at least in the eyes of the Trust, as anyone else.
Sure.
The Clancy Trust will secure their future. They can decide what to do with their shares. But I'm old, and I'm not in it for the money. The truth has been eating away at me for years, but now I can set the record straight, thanks to you. As someone who enjoys searching for the truth, you might understand the power it has. Whitewashing the past to protect the status quo can lead to repercussions in the present and future. So thank you. You knocked it out of the park. With your expert work, the truth will come to light. And when it does, my share of the Clancy Trust is yours. Like I said at the beginning, set for life. Looking at the family tree on your wall, now with my father's, everything finally feels complete. Unless a whole lot more Roottrees somehow appear from thin air, this is the last time I'll come knocking. Thanks again, and so long.
Wait, what about my money? Ah, brilliant. Thanks for your hard work. Sam Madson's book was published. It received mixed reviews. Life went on and a new president took over the company. The Roottrees family faded from the news cycle. And then everything changed. There's another mystery to solve. Roottrees Mania is now unlocked as a new game. What does that mean? Okay, well, do I have to do that as a new game plus, I guess? Huh. What might be some of those searches that we didn't manage to do? This guy Hudson. Hudson lives on his twin sister and strangers to the public when it comes to Roottrees snacks. They both appeared in this company's advertisements trade during the Boys and Girls Agree era. Now, guys, take with the company this year. We've known that one of those two adorable redheads, guy quoted his mum and father, Angie and Christopher, providing his value due, arguing over everything but chocolate, would grow up to take over the whole company. Guy's uncle and current president, Zachariah, has decided to take an early retirement to focus on traveling the world with his wife. Zach was quoted saying, "Now that our daughters have started families of their own, Clara and I plan on reflecting a life well lived." Well, that's that guy's wife. Guy's new to the business world, but he's family. We at Roottrees have faith in his innovative ideas, and he's eager to share them with the world. We'd like to think the boys and girls agree that he's ready to succeed. And then we need Ernest Madsen Jr. Those know about Ernest, but sources close to family who have, as remained anonymous, have made it clear that he is more than qualified. The rumours that Ernest had originally trained to succeed Zach Morden have been passed up for unspecified reasons. Business Watch was managed to get a quote from the company's publicist. As for years, Roottrees have been rough. In an attempt to keep our products relevant to modern audiences, some of our decisions have had unintended consequences. From the fancy flavours misstep to the batter-up bar, we've taken a bit of a tumble in the public eye. Mr. Madsen is committed to getting back to basics. You know what? I think we're going to call it there. Bit of a short stream today, but that's fine. Because we got completed actually surprisingly quicker than I thought we were going to do it. I thought we were going to be here for another hour, at least, to finish this up. I am intrigued as to what Roottrees Mania is. I might have to have a look. I'm just going to just do a quick Google of that. Expansion or a new storyline for the poster game reaches a depth focused on different, more complex family tree with a history of infidelity requiring players to identify new family members. One of those affairs including the family tree. Sorry, I'm just looking up how to select. Okay, so we go to save and quit. A new game, Roottrees Mania. Plans to the infamous family in a whole new mystery. Let's do that. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Clark. Probably not who you expected to be knocking, but life's funny sometimes. You've done well staying anonymous. It took us a while to track you down. A lot has happened in the last year. Far too much of it public. But there's stuff going on behind the scenes too.
Cool. Clark, can you tell Samantha to give me my money? She still hasn't paid me for the last one.
I'm not great with stress. With my mother's deteriorating I'm sorry, I'm rambling. I'm not here for sympathy. I'm here because part of the fallout of Sam's book is that everyone's coming out of the woodwork. Now that it's public knowledge that Clancy Trust covers any Roottrees despite their history with us, a lot of potential cousins have surfaced. You may have seen that man on the cover of News Time. That was a disaster for us.
No.
And then Miracle went and made it all about himself.
Of course he did.
The long and short of it is a lot of potential cousins just showed up. Sam's helping some of them. But she's not really going about it the right way. And she's not taking calls from anyone in the family. I let it slip through a mutual friend that I found you, and I was stopping in. It's manipulative, but I'm hoping she'll reach out to you. You can let her know I'm on her side. In the meantime, if you're willing, I can share our files with you. Pass them along to Sam if she reaches out. I'm genuinely hoping she'll realize I'm an ally. Feel free to do your own research. I've been told you enjoy things like this. To each their own.
New events. Today is August 3rd, 1999. It has been 8 months since you helped Sam add some of the research necessary for a book. Sam was true to her word and paid you an incredibly large sum of money. She never mentioned you by name, however, so you've managed to keep a low profile. The Roottrees, on the other hand, have not. Below is a summary of notable events since the book's release, so you can refresh your memory in full data while searching online. 6B says, Sam Madsen's book about the last Roottrees was released in February. It's a bestseller for a few months. At the time, Carl had not yet been replaced. Roottrees Rift. In March, the Roottrees company stumbled publicly as they attempted to respond to the book's release. Multiple conflicting press releases and a clear lack of leadership. Clark Rafferty LaRue. Clark was announced as the permanent successor to Carl Roottrees and welcomed Sam Madsen to the family officially. The company hired an outside legal group to handle the changes to the Clancy Trust. This included any other questions of lineage. 5Ps. After this announcement, there was a rash of different people claiming to Roottrees. Mostly dismissed as opportunists and scammers. Highest profile of these, by a wide margin, was a rapper named Felix Fellows who changed his name to 5Ps as a publicity move at the same time. 5Ps is the only notable person on the updated tree. Roottrees Mania. In another high-profile misstep, Miracle Roottrees publicly and vehemently denied that 5Ps was a Roottrees. Roottrees' legal team then offered Joe a DNA test to get 5Ps to drop his claim, and in a moment that caught seemed like the entire world by storm, the test proved that he was a Roottrees, saying the world was obsessed with the Roottrees. Anonymum and Jane Doe Roottrees in July. An anonymous woman, who press began to refer to as Anonymum, appeared in interviews with her face and voice disguised. She claimed that the affair with Roottrees led to the birth of her daughter, aka Jane Doe Roottrees. If true, this would make her daughter yet another secret Roottrees, and therefore entitled to a share of the Clancy Trust. Nobody knew at the time, but this would turn out to be the last chapter in the Roottrees Mania saga. As more and more of Anonymum's story came out, people began to notice how much it echoed to 5Ps in nearly every significant way. Court public opinion began to turn. Confirming the world's suspicions, the DNA test, orchestrated by lawyers on both sides, proved that her daughter was not a Roottrees. The final event caused public disappointment, smugness from doubters, and countless accusations, and the entire ordeal being an elaborate hoax or attempt at fraud. Things got a bit ugly, and the attempt and the fun of Roottrees Mania seemed to disappear overnight. Now, a month later, it feels like a distant memory. Christ, that's a lot. Okay. Right. Possible Infidelity number 1, 1921. Okay. Guess we're not done after all. Right, let's make a start on this then. Roottrees continue, baby! So, Possible Infidelity number 1. 1921. It's based also on the original tree. So, if we're looking at one of these guys. Probably not Miracle. So we assume this is 5p's, right? That's a lot. 5p's, aka Felix Foz's rapper, has found some recent radio play after being publicly confirmed as a long-lost Roottrees and had to repart their fortune. His alias, 5p's, was a play on 5 pieces. That's who found on their website known for their particularly harsh reviews. Rob Music gives his most recent album, Root of All Evil, 1 star, out of 7, for whatever reason. The headline, more poses than my action figure collection. The viewer mentions his real name is David and used to go by Dirty Davey. And the author views the fact that his rebranding was a blatant marketing stunt at the expense of his mother's tragic past. She overdosed when he was 16. Apparently only one of the songs in the album is new, and the others were simply rewritten to turn blatant references to sex, drugs and violence into clumsy euphemisms. His rise to prominence was kickstarted when he appeared a few months ago on the cover of News Time holding a photo of his mother with Guy Hudson. At the first, the Roottree company denied it vehemently. Miracle Roottree even appeared in the same magazine later, but since then they backtracked and publicly welcomed to the family. Their press release at the time stated they had new evidence that confirmed the story. Okay, so that will be. Do you have any projects available to add to the family tree? Let's add to click on faces in your evidence tab. Right, so News Time, Guy Hudson. But his play appears on the cover of News Time, kicking off the Roottrees. Then a week later, Miracle appeared on the cover of the magazine in an article that focused heavily on 5p's as well. Showing both as well as close to the photo, 5p's is holding on the cover of the issue has been added to evidence. Five P's, aka Felix Fellows, appeared on the cover of News Time holding a photo of his mother and Guy Hudson. The article concerns his insistence that his father was Guy Hudson. The story was dramatic and sensational, and initially dismissed as fake until DNA tests proved that he was related to Guy Hudson. 5P says his mother Joanna was Zach Morden's secretary when he retired, then Guy Hudson's secretary for only 1 or 2 weeks after that before she quit. First weeks he was president. His parents divorced before after his mother learned of the affair. Felix and his mother then moved to Portland because she was afraid of her and her son's life. He grew up with her until he was 16, but one day his mother never came home from the movie rental store when she worked the register. That's when she found her dead from an overdose. She had stolen all her cash from her drawer and spent it on heroin. Felix went through her belongings. The only things he had to remember her were a hairbrush she was used, some photos, and a stuffed animal from her childhood. And then he found it, a box hidden in the back of her closet. Inside were love letters and photos to Guy Hudson, as well as a letter from his father containing threats. He knew it, he threw it all away, with the exception of one photo he appears with on the cover of News Time. It says it was the only one where they were dressed. The only one not from the affair itself. The magazine also includes an additional history about 5P's career. Felix Fellows was born to Riley and Joanna Fellows, but was never wrapped without Monica. Trying to find success by opening for other artists and even selling CDs on street corners in Portland. He's only recently started going by 5Ps to harness the power of his lineage. The writer did some research into the truth to these claims and confirmed that Joanna did work for the Roottrees company as a secretary sometime during the early to mid-70s. Confirmed she died of a drug overdose and that Felix went into foster care soon after. They were unable to track down his father. He also reached out to the Roottrees company, but at the moment the company's blanket statement was, since the release of a recent book, the Roottrees has seen an overwhelming number of false ancestral claims. None of them factual, and they all have been knowingly dishonest. We encourage individuals to reach out to us in official capacity as opposed to us attempting to use our name in the media for publicity. Right. And his name isn't... He is a musician. Miracle Roottries appeared on the cover of News Time shortly after 5Ps did. He merely denied that 5Ps was a Roottries. Miracle doesn't focus much on the detail of 5P's accusations regarding his mother and Guy Hudson. He comes across as exhausted at the events that have been going on behind the scenes, as well as the character of those he feels are attacking his family. Oh yeah, that's a lot to read. He starts with 6 pieces of content. He says that although most of the book was based in fact, it left out anything that wouldn't fit the agenda. He points out that Sam's daughter had still earned a generous salary for overseeing the farm division of Roottrees, and that Sam did the same before her. That Sam's family was not destitute, and that really it was only her son who chose to take on a job with no salary. He claims that although they didn't have to, the family helped pay for her son's medical bills after voting that it was the right thing to do. Miracle also says that the story about his father, Elias, showing the EC was one-sided, leaving out Edward Clancy's blame in the whole thing. Elias gave him a simple ultimatum: stop sinning or be disowned. Miracle says it was EC's own choice, and that Elias allowing him to earn food and shelter on the company's dime was a kindness, especially considering he and John continued to live together. Miracle then pivots to the fallout from 6 pieces. He recounts a delusional claim to the clan-said trust that the family have been subject to. He doesn't cite any specifics, says that every time someone comes forward, the family devolves into arguments. They've had to hire an outside legal team to help, but so far every case has been demonstrated to be laughably false. All they do is challenge the family's reputation. He focuses on 5Ps, who has appeared in the News Time before him. He calls him a grifter and a delinquent and says that he's using their name and products to sell filth to the masses. For all the accusations, he says this is the most dangerous because it exposes the world to hatred. He cites 5P's lyrics as violent, sexist and ungodly, and prays the boy will repent, retract his lies and find religion. Lastly, he turns to the future. Miracle states that those wishing the true story can join him on his farewell tour with his upcoming fall. Shyster. The Miracles Roottries are planning on touring the country's churches one last time, and now at age 71, Miracle is the oldest living Roottries, where he plans to continue preaching on his own church, in Butler County after the tour. This is your last chance to hear the truth from the man who's the most complete recollection of one of America's most notable families in your own hometown. Clark mentions that Miracle's son, Miracle Jr., did not wish to comment. There's a statement from Clark Rafferty LaRue, through the Roottries law firm. Miracle does not speak for the entire family. We are working carefully on a plan to definitively disprove any claims of infidelity in our family's past. That, of course, does not refute Miracle's claim that he's the oldest living Roottries, despite Sam Madsen being born the year before him. It's unclear if Miracle made a claim out of ignorance or spite. I think the latter. Guy and Joanna. Right, that'd be Guy. He was the third president? What did we say? Third, yeah. Christ, how many affairs did this guy have? Anyway, that's Joanna. Fellows. And she was... Well, she was a secretary, but... I need to go back through that evidence. Because it's always her last... retail worker. She worked at the movie rental store. And his father is... Riley Fellows. Do we have anything else? Right. Okay, so... If I Google Guy now, I wonder if something else will come up. Okay, during which remaining is only gross prominence again after 5p's. He's appeared on the cover of a magazine hosted by Guy's mother. So, this company in the 70s come full of stories about debauchery and swinger parties. Guy to throw large holiday parties may be an excuse, and they often look very out of hand. This fact has led to some speculate that the night he died in a car crash he was drunk or impaired in some way. The Butler County Police have released multiple statements and ample evidence that proves decisively it was not foul play, and no the party had taken place. Is there anything else I need to... I can do... Yeah. What if I search Miracle Roottrees? Anything new will come up. This Miracle Senior is going on neutral in the United States in 1999. Previous supplies now have been replaced. Joanna Roots. We'll give her a search as well. And damn. Oops. Okay, Quick's first and single release. After the single 5 years now to obtain the infamous celebrity lawyer Steve Willott to sue his family. Doesn't feel like he's followed through. Steve Willott is a lawyer since grandstanding social smash record for legal victories for useless celebrities and athletes. And this seems to have anything to do with the Roottrees. Can we look up her last name? Just want to make sure I get it correct. Madsen. Sad Madsen's book was released earlier this year and details the truth about Elias Roottrees as well as Sam's fathers, Edward Clancy Roottrees and John Miller. To help verify his story, so much of the book's core contents are familiar to you. That said, Sam had some section on other family secrets and rumours. Much of it didn't matter much to the primary purpose of the book. Some of it is new to you and may be important to your search. These sections have been added to your notes. Sam was working with a few different passages about early history of the company and the rumours and gossip she collected during that tenure. She ran the farm period during 1968 after the death of Elias Roottrees until her daughter Gwyneth took over in 1984. Most of the relevant rumours coincide with the reign of Guy Hudson, who took over as president in 1978. Sam was very much not a fan of Guy. According to Six Pieces, it was a very open secret within the family that Guy was very much not a fan of remaining faithful to his wife, Patricia. Many of the hires at the time were young single women, and Guy often spent lavish amount of money on private parties. This was 20 years ago, and Sam still warns that most of it hearsay, so you might find the following information that may be relevant. One of Sam's farm supervisors was named Elizabeth. Elizabeth had a daughter who Sam never met, who worked as one of Guy's secretaries. According to Elizabeth, a caterer from the local restaurant Antonellis met her daughter at one of Guy's parties, and they eloped quickly due to a pregnancy. Elizabeth wasn't aware that the party was for swingers. A rumour has it that her daughter shared up with Guy and didn't seem comfortable switching partners. Okay. So one of Guy's secretaries was named Elizabeth, presumably. I'm going to search Antonellis. Maybe in Buckingham Times? Italian restaurant has been in Butler's town twice. The restaurant was closed in 1992. When Rochelle Zimmer sold the land the building was on, at the time of the article, she was unsure if the restaurant would move to a new location or if she would retire. Many years later, there was puff piece from Italian Times in 1978. Ooh. Okay, her husband Steve, who was a chef at Antonellis, met years ago into the produce from Eleanor's farm. Steve used to work extra hours just to be there during his deliveries. They grew up out in the restaurant's spirit suppliers. They were encountered by chance and eloped at the end of last year. Okay. She's the secretary but went back to delivering produce on the weekends. So, we have A. I think it's this one. And then this would be Steve Garland. Guy's main positive contribution was expanding the markets previously tapped by Roottrees. Of when he went straight overseas, they were often for weeks at a time, and the guy was known for spending more time and money on unofficial business than meeting with distributors and manufacturers. So that he bribed at least one politician to open a factory in Brazil. Okay. And she was a... She's a chef, I think. I'll put down a secretary. There's also a section where Sam speculates that Elias may have cheated on Gwyneth. Gwyneth was much kinder to Sam than Elias was. He's first to invite Sam to family events. While she had no hard evidence, Sam always got the impression that Gwyneth was able to coerce Elias into allowing Sam back in the family using some kind of leverage, so that being a natural cause of events. She mentioned that Elias and Gwyneth were known to loudly argue, sometimes about another woman. Sam also said her son Ernie once asked her who's Beth, because he overheard them yelling about someone with that name. As far as Sam knows, Elias once had a secretary called Elizabeth, a different Elizabeth from the one from the supervisor from the farm, but she never met her. Interesting. So we're looking at 1921. And we had an affair with I think how we search it. Roottrees Brazil. I don't. Roottrees Brazil is one of the companies created to manufacture and distribute Roottrees candy. It was developed as part of Roottrees Everywhere initiative beginning in the start of 1979. Like some other Roottrees Everywhere results, Roottrees Brazil seems to be a success. Using Rough Translate can find a significant amount of information about it. Brazil was the only region which caviar flavoured 5 pieces were a hit. The primary reason that factories still exist to this day is solely to create that flavour, which comes with its own standalone 5 pieces bag of Portuguese writing. A small town called Old Avalagos in the municipality of São Bernardo do Campo, became the location chosen by the Roottrees County Company after a new active local politician named Edson Soares heard they're applying a new factory and petitioned them in 1979. The factory was controversial as locals did not want it there. Roottrees visited Brazil around Christmas and managed to break ground on the project. Interesting. Since then, however, it has been operating relatively smoothly, except for two incidents. The first was Incendio do Bordo in 1982, and the second was an unsuccessful strike in 1985 that involved all the factory workers being replaced. The factory originally built and run by a small company called Nova Corporação de Doces Brazil, which literally translates to New Brazil Candy Corporation. This company no longer exists. Not much information has ever existed about it, and the Roottrees now run Roottrees Brazil entirely. Okay, what if I do a search of the show? Let's have a look at old Eddie. Edson Soares was a Brazilian politician. He found a dissertation published by a college student as part of their PhD in history. It focuses on the rise of democracy in Brazil. It seems up until 1988, Brazil was run by the military, and the politics during that time were often a hotbed for corruption and nepotism. The paper tells of a few politicians at the time, including Edson Soares. Edson was a former mayor of Lagos, Brazil. Before politics, he was a manager at an automotive manufacturing plant for a major American car company. He was put in charge of Lagos by the military government in 1973. As mayor, he used his manufacturing background and knowledge of American business to establish new factories, distribution plants, and other business ventures in the area. This had two side effects. First, he became quite rich. Second, many locals were forcibly relocated. This did not make him a popular mayor. What the paper speculates is to move to counteract this unpopularity. His wife Sonia was discreetly put in charge of a television station called Telered. He often used this connection to ensure supporters would appear on local television supporting his beliefs and emphasizing political victories. He remained in office until 1988, when he was defeated in the first election after the military government was no longer in control. After this election lost, he quickly left town behind. It is not known where he has gone, but this station even speculates he likely fled to stay alive. Let's do a search on this place. This television station. Crud. Let's look at Incendio de Bordo. Maple fire. 1982, the factory was deliberately attacked in a case of clear arson. Fire was brought under control after destroying about 2/3 of the production floor. It claimed the air smelled like a mix of burning plastic and maple syrup. The factory was built in continuous production to this day. The time is unknown when this happened, but last year a news special did list this incident as well as a few others in small towns backlash to the perceived corruption in the government at the time. According to the report, the mayor of the city was found to be receiving a cut of the factory's profits. Surprise, surprise. Probably won't be anything about this here. Okay, it's the same thing. Cool. I think, yeah, I don't know. What was, if I go back to Edson, talks about his wife Sonia. I wonder if she has any connection here. So Flavio Soares. The young Brazilian newscaster with a bit of a cult following. The score surrounding him is, to put it in polite terms, lewd. There is a website that butts out something called fan fiction that has a small section dedicated to him. It seems that women, and some men, of a wide variety of ages and writing skill tend to find him worthy of inclusion in their stories. You skim some of the tales there and learn that a common thread is that he's currently dating a supermodel named Ashley York. Some of these stories either seem to ignore her existence or get her out of the picture rather quickly. There are also some more traditional fan sites that list some things about him, including his age, 18, his zodiac sign Libra, his favourite food, grilled steak, and his mother's name Sonia. It seems that his Flavio translates to golden hair. One website with a signed photo of publicity photo of Flavio seems to confirm this. The photo has been added to your evidence. Natasha kisses from Brazil, Flavio. So I wonder if I presume Guy had the affair with Sonia. Everyone wants he is a news anchor. And that'll be Edson. But maybe if the name wouldn't have been Soares originally, I guess. I think we will come back to this next time. I think at this point. So thank you for joining me for. We're back with some more Roottrees Mania, I think, next time on stream. So, thank you for joining for the stream today. I will be joining you for the whole thing, or 5 minutes or in between. Thanks for hanging out. Kind of unearthed a kind of worms, and this has gone on a bit longer than I thought it was going to go on. I thought we were going to finish the game, and that'll be it. But turns out there's way more. So we're gonna explore this a little bit more, I think. For at least one more stream. Maybe we won't finish the whole thing, the whole of Roottrees Mania, but I definitely think we'll hopefully make some more progress next time. So I hope you can join me for that. Yeah, I keep saying we're gonna wrap up, but I'm kind of thinking I kind of want to get this sorted. Oh, she wouldn't be joining the fellows. Why am I? Because they always use maiden names. Right, sorry guys, we're not wrapping up until I get this sorted. Right, and then I'm gonna have research guy. Because we should be able to get I'll research Guy Morden. Not Guy, Zach Morden. Is there going to be any? Doubt it, but I'll just search Roottrees Mania. Daytime talk show sad and secret Roottrees episodes late. Okay, has made jokes about I've lost one of his family. There was a widely shared website you could fill in your own name to find out if you're a secret Roottrees. When you submitted your name, it simply said no with an image of Clark graffiti the room giving you the finger. Very funny. Showing us a couple of weeks. It's not flying 6 weeks to re-enter the charts and trigger new printings of other Roottrees media, including diaries, VHS releases of Gwyn's old movies, there's unvoiced biographies. Most of it seem to be attempt to capitalise on the Roottrees sisters, Carl and Brenda. The re-releases were too late to successfully capitalise on the extent of the craze. As a result, most of them were failures and countless numbers of shit separations and Secret Roottrees became immediately unfashionable. Though some people wear them ironically. See if there's anything maybe there that could have helped. Nope. Let's track. Let's see if there's anything here about. Sounds insane, but still reminders on here, so reminders in here might be useful still. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. Okay. IP's issues. Anything else that's worth? Okay, so what? I'm gonna randomly pull up the news if there's anything like local there that going to have another look at this. See something. This track is the only new song on the album. Yeah, so it's supposed to symbolize a money is evil. Points out that only people who think money is evil are those who have it. Those that can afford it to be greedy. Song 5P talks about taking Roottrees' wealth due to it being his birthright and giving those who need it most. Look up the song on the suspicious looking website and download it to your records. There's only a single from 5P's album Roottrees Evil. She needs some airplay but didn't make a big splash commercially. I'm not gonna. Is there anything in these lyrics that might be clues? Should we have a park place? And boardwalk. Yeah, you know what, I am going to call it at this point. And I think we'll come back for some more Roottrees next time. So thanks for joining me for the stream today. And we will actually see you next time. After a few false endings, we're actually going to end it now. So thanks for joining me. See you next time. And as always, au revoir, baby. I pressed the wrong thing. Bye. Ugh, what a mess. What a mess that ending was. Right, guys. See you next time. Bye bye.